the Three of Swords. I can't find my normal decks right now because I moved, but I found a deck, so that's good. I like this one. It has a lot of good pictures, make you space out and some cool stuff. Well, where these they're like, it took fire, like intense fire, to like create these swords, you know, from deep in the earth, the elements, and like in the earth and the fire together, and then to masterfully create a sword is quite a feat in itself. And so, like, the way I'm looking at this card today is that the spirit is trying to make a point like, 3 times, and it's less like to torture you, but to like guide you, or like the importance of the craft of love and relationships, where it's not just about like really basic, well then he did this and then she said that, and then, you know, I mean, after a while, if you've been on cycles of this third party energy and pain, and enough times that it's kind of like, okay, and then what? Like after a while, like the tears dry up and you're just like, what does it mean, right? Or like, am I missing something here? Because like, why is it repeating over and over again, right? Generally speaking, I think you get lessons again and again, like harder and harder, and like the volume gets turned up each time until you like get it, you know, finally. So it's important to be self-reflective on this matter of heartbreak. And I just feel like in this card, she's being given these glimmers of information in those like, I don't know, guitar pick like kind of rocks she's leaning on, and the swords coming from the heavens. And she's kind of feeling like, oh, I'm like kind of a diva made of stone, you know, like I'll always feel this way, you know, I'll turn to stone in this heartache, you know, but it's like you're missing the livelihood of the sword energy, the informational aspect of what's happening. I'm gonna like just let this be a leisurely reading, so if like hopefully you get the time. Okay, I'm just gonna, because there's a lot of detail on this card, I want to like not miss something. Yeah, I also feel like there's a certain element of like international travel, or like relationships with people abroad, like over communicating over the internet, or like there's maybe people of interest who you may have had some kind of relation with, who may be seeing other people, you know, whatever, or you may be. But it's kind of like, the feeling I get when I look at the card is that like, while these different relationships, either on your side, their side, or both, are kind of piling up here, pardon my lack of manicure, it's all just adding up to more knowledge, wisdom. It's like making you guys be better at love, and in a sense, like sharpening that ninja sword that will then be able to like cut through the BS and help you have great communication, and towards the end of like having a great love relationship. So it's like not to fear the an accumulation of wisdom and stability experience in the end. And like sometimes it's like, you know, like like on a personal note, like I think in the last sort of big-ish relationship I had, when things were ending, it was kind of like, and there was obvious there was a third party. It's like, you know what? I don't want to be the person to like train you how to be a proper partner. Like, let somebody else do that. You know, like I just want to be in like I just want to treat people nicely. But I think like in order for certain lessons to happen, you need, like, the universe packages them in cute, like they make them attractive in some way to you, and otherwise you wouldn't bother with them. And then like the lesson is within that packaging that it was so irresistible to you. So it's kind of like, you know what, let them do the dirty work of like training, you know, life skills into a person, because like I don't know, it's not everybody's temperament to be like drama filled. Yeah, so just don't see a heartache necessarily as negative, as I feel like this card is the mood of this reading is telling me, and that the accumulated wisdom of all these different parties will result in good, mature, like a honed kind of perfection, you know. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, and the card right below that is like the Six of Wands, so it's sort of like, which will end in like victory. Yeah, and then if we're gonna go deeper in the deck, and the Ten of Hearts is like below that, and Justice. So it's kind of like, you know, all these cards underneath this one tell like a happy ending to all the like perceived heartache. Heartache is, if you just see it as like heart gym, like you know, you don't have to, not everything has to be like dynasty or like as the world turns. You don't have to accept circumstances as being horrible always. Okay, King of Wands is next. Okay, I'll let you look at it. Yes, we have like a passionate masculine energy who's kind of like, here I am, and he's not seeking, he's like in his power, he's like done all the work he needs to do, but yet it is like a passionate king. So, and so he's like a handful. It's a lot of passion to cope with. As for the Princess of Hearts energy, so it sounds like my computer wants to breathe a bit more. Wait, 1 second. It's like, it's the 21st century and computers still like still get overheated. Someone get on that. Fix that. Okay. Let's see if that's better. Cool. All right. So, Princess of Hearts. So these two are quite a couple. King of Wands and the Princess of Hearts. We have like someone who's like fiercely passionate, and then we have someone who's like not so mature in love. And it kind of feels like she's the type of person who like over texts or like over analyzes what people are writing to her. And I say her, but it's like female, feminine energy. This could be any gender. Yeah, and I kind of the feeling I get from this card is that she's got a bit of a mouth on her too, like because she's a princess and not a queen. Like she might not have the most mature things to say or things to say about what's being said to her, and like while she's affectionate and ready for love, like it can be she can be annoying. Let's just say that. And then this guy's just like maybe more than she can handle. He might feel like he needs more than just her because like he's so passionate. It's like who's his equal? Like his equal would be more like the Queen of Wands rather than the Princess of Hearts. Right? So Princess of Hearts is like more emotional, like fiery. So in some ways, like she can put out his fire with her emotions, like over texting, over talking, stuff like that. I'm just laughing because it resonates a bit with me because like I find well anyway like somebody knows that are we meeting today at what time, like no, don't like tell me don't send paragraphs. Let's talk if this guy barking. I don't know if you're making appearance because he's upstairs. Yeah, so you might want to, if you're the feminine energy, you might want to watch the sappy, emotional, like over communicative element to try to match the passion of the masculine. It's a bit of a mismatch. Or like that's where your energies are at. So if you want to commingle, you have to like temper your energy so they mesh well. Because we have a lot of communication going back and forth. Okay, and then which is going to result in like quick, fast-paced like circumstances, possibly decisions to travel, like last minute kind of passionate stuff like that, rushing in. So, and it could also mean that there are multiple streams of passionate conversation going on. Like, for example, people that text a lot of people or use dating apps or things like that. And it may be difficult for people to focus on one or the other when there's so much going on. And this is what can maybe like create this sort of like, well, are we dating? Are we talking? Like, you know, like what can be like confusing about between the sword energy and the fire energy. Okay, and there's 3 more cards that I pulled. There's the Pentacles, the Moon, and the 10 of Pentacles. You know, I feel like because the Moon is like between the two, the progression from 9 to 10 of Pentacles. It's like at the moment you might have both parties like working on developing their grounded like stability, manifesting their abundance, and maybe they've achieved like a really high level of that on their own, and they're kind of like standing in their wealth, like ready to, like they're shining, you know, like, they've done all that work. But in order to get all the way to like from her to the castle, what lies between the moon and in this picture, I feel like some people can say the moon is like things being hidden from you, like lies and stuff. But I kind of feel like just like how I didn't see the Three of Swords being a negative card today, I also see the moon as really embracing what is mysterious about you, about the other person, about love, about the voyage through kind of your own darkness, their darkness to get to this ultimate togetherness, stability. So it's like you both brought your game up, and now you have the strength to like face your own darkness and like look for the glimmers of intelligence like within that, like just all those stars in the sky here for her. And there's and the clouds are depicted like these squiggly lines. So it's like the path obviously was not straight. And you might have felt like you're repeating cycles over and over again, but they were always like a little bit different. You know, different people, different location, but it was still kind of the same like heartbreak like cycle type of thing. But then and it's sort of like a complex board game where you end up at the finish regardless of how unpleasant and confusing the path may have been. Okay, I'm just like having a look at this card. Yeah, I also feel that like this relationship, when it does come together, people talk about it. A lot of people talk about the usual in some regard, like whether one or both parties are well known or they have a lot of people they know just in their life, like nothing to do with fame, but like well known. But they could be famous, or one of them could be famous, and it's really like they're. I feel like with the girl and the dog, I feel like the two people are very different from each other, and other people may be like, why are they together? Like, how does that work? But in this place of like the nighttime of like where the moon is shining instead of the sun, and the stars are shining, like it's like more like subconscious, like there's the reasons are not like obvious or typical, but it's like there's deep reasons why it works that are not like typical or maybe widely socially acceptable, whether it's cultural difference, age, whatever, like a difference that is like visually obvious, I feel. Okay. But it's like a deeply satisfying relationship that while it may entice like people to talk about it, there's something that is like satisfying on all levels of of this relationship that addresses even past life relationships or like subconscious desires or like all the other layers besides like the most obvious resonance of being like a 3D creature, you know, because we are multidimensional and a proper kind of deep relationship, yes, twin flame relationship will address like all layers of your being and into like where it connects with like everything, you know, all elements, the earth and the sun and like other timelines and just you name it, the connectivity will like mesh well with that. So that's I think like pretty optimistic reading of like the energies right now, and hopefully you can be cool with that sort of Three of Swords type of feeling, or like facing the moon kind of energy and stuff like that. I wish you guys the best, and I'm available for distance healing and psychic readings. I like to combine the two because it's one thing to see what's going on, it's another thing to be able to repair it and make it more awesome for you. So just I'll put my email in the box below at some point soon, and you can figure out like according to your budget like what would be appropriate. Typically I do 1 hour or 2 hour healings, but I'm capable of doing the work quicker or like more customized to what you need right now. Okay, all right, take care. Talk to you soon.